Hi guys, Bran here, and today we have a little bit of a different video today. Today we're going to be talking about 3 things that you can do that'll help you out with the skill-based matchmaking situation, because a lot of people have been running into the situation with skill-based matchmaking where it's been a little bit more sweaty, and by a little bit I mean a lot of people are falling out of love in the game. And basically people, you know, no pun intended, are kind of having a hard time surviving in the skill-based matchmaking climate. So I want to give you 3 small things that'll help you a bunch when it comes to surviving in skill-based matchmaking and still enjoying Dead by Daylight despite kind of the increased sweat that exists out there right now. Number 1, okay, this one's kind of a killer specific one. Take a look at the items in the lobby of the survivors that you're seeing, because this can give you a good indication on how hard your match will actually be, and you can adjust your perks and your add-ons accordingly. If you look at a full lobby and you see no items, that is much less powerful as if you see like 2 toolboxes, you see 3 med kits, you see a key. Those sort of things are incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful, and they will boost all of those survivors way past a skill level that they are currently at, no matter what that happens to be. Even if they're bad at doing gens, the toolboxes will speed up that situation and bridge the gap in their ability to not, like, you know, do gens safely or stick on gens. Same thing with med kits. Like, your whole strategy is killer that you can't hit somebody and leave them alone anymore because they'll just heal up by themselves. They don't even need to go find a teammate anymore, so that kind of like just get a hit and call it kind of strategy just is taken out. Like, the items like dramatically affect the way the game is played, so if you see a lot of items, you might want to, you know, adjust your build to run something a little bit more strong instead of, you know, running that funny build that you wanted to run, or at least just go to another lobby. If you still really want to run that really fun build, that funny build or something, and you see a lobby full of items and you don't want to sweat match, yeah, I would dodge, or, you know, switch to something more sweaty. Also, there's an asterisk for this one. On PC specifically, you can also click their names and check their hours and see if they're grouping together, and that can also be a good determinant of A, if you should run something more sweaty, or B, if you should just like dodge the lobby entirely. Okay, number 2, run 1 meta perk, and this goes for both sides. A lot of people, when skill-based matchmaking released and everything got super sweaty, got like really worried about, you know, the amount of sweat they were seeing out there in the DBD landscape on both sides. So a lot of people either compelled to keep running their builds and just get pub stomped and feel like shit, or they decided that they were going to run full sweat, you know, fall to the dark side and like become the thing that agitates them so much. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do those things. You can just run 1 meta perk. If you're used to playing killer and you're used to running fun builds like barbecue and fury, and then, you know, something else like blood warden for funsies or something like that, you know, like if you're used to running builds like that and you've been really frustrated with the sweat that's been happening on the survivor side of things, swap out blood warden for like corrupt or pop. That's it. You don't have to switch your old build. Chillax, friendo. Keep eating those pallets, you know, sit down at that Lowe's like it's a Chili's, okay? Keep eating those pallets, all right? But, you know, just, you know, swap out that last perk for like pop or corrupt or something. You know, that little bit helps a lot. On the survivor side, I've been playing some more survivor lately. On the survivor side, I like to run autodidact and dumb stuff like that. Like, I don't like running meta like basically at all, you know. So I've also been getting the pub stomps, and survivor's the side that I care for less, so I'm a little bit more cool with it, but it's still annoying. So I've been running sprint burst lately, and that's it. I just have been running sprint burst. All my other perks are fine. They're not meta, but I've been running sprint burst, and that little, just the one strong perk that you bring, just the one, makes a big difference, you know. And you don't have to make these big sweeping changes. You don't have to go all meta or all not meta. You can just put one on. You just put one on, and it'll help you a lot, friend. It's not that big of a deal, I promise. All right, number 3, run counter builds. A lot of people right now on the killer side of things are running Ruin and Dying because it's like the big meta thing. Because Ruin is like the easiest slowdown perk. You literally don't have to do anything. You just approach the gen and it regresses itself. It's like you know, Babu's first gen regression perk. It's like Fisher Price's gen repression perk. You know, it's really easy, and then you pair it with Undying and you get a lot more value. And it's just you know, it's the lazy gen regression perk, but it's also the strongest gen regression perk in my opinion. So run a totem perk or run a totem build. if you know that most killers are going to be bringing Ruin Undying, it's not like there's not ways you can stop that. There are definitely perks in the game that help you stop that. So if you're seeing a lot of that and you really want to counter Ruin Undying, bring Counterforce or something like that. Bring small game. Bring something that helps you snipe those perks or snipe those totems so you can get rid of those perks. There are ways to counter that, and if you're not going to able to do those without those perks, bring perks to counter it. Also on the survivor side, a lot of survivors bring exhaustion. Exhaustion perks are probably, I would say, the strongest perks in the game. Like, I mean both sides. Like, exhaustion perks are crazy strong. Like, crazy strong compared to the role that they're in. Like, super strong. Probably the strongest perks in the game. You, as killer, you need to run stuff that enacts exhaustion upon the survivors before their exhaustion perks can, react. Or go off. There's add-ons. There's plenty of add-ons that killers have that cause exhaustion. There's plenty of perks that cause exhaustion. You have like Mindbreaker, you have Blood Echo, you have things that can stop the exhaustion from happening. You can there's also a lot of like stealthy add-ons, that way you can kind of like sneak up on them, and stealth perks like Tinker and stuff. Like, you have things you can use to counter these meta perks. DBD doesn't really focus on having a meta and then an anti-meta. They're just like, no, there's only one meta, but there is some anti-meta in the game. And in that regard, you should probably be running those if you're tired of seeing these perks or tired of interacting with these perks. Okay, this last one, surprise, is an honorable mention. The honorable mention is have a better outlook. If you win, you're going to have more sweaty matches, but you're improving as a player because you're facing the better players in the game. So you're sharpening your sword here. You're getting better over time. But if you lose, which is the thing that, upsets people the most, your MMR goes down, so you're going to be having more of the casual matches that you wanted in the first place. So like at the end of the day, it's a win-win. So it just takes a while to be a win-win, right? And when nobody likes being just like steamrolled. Nobody likes being steamrolled, even if it's for like their general greater good, right? So it's just a bad feeling, and especially when like the macro game of Dead by Daylight is so boring. Like, kicking gens, like gen regression versus gen rushing is just really boring, and it's the main objective of the game. And skill-based matchmaking is just kind of like highlighting that. So it feels bad to lose in this game, because like losing in this game isn't exciting or thrilling for either side, unless it's like like a 3-man slug. Basically, if it's like. Basically, what I'm trying to say is gen rush versus gen progression is super boring, but that happens to be what determines the win-loss of the game. And that's why it feels bad. And skill-based matchmaking is just kind of like highlighting this. It's not really skill-based matchmaking that's, the problem. It's just kind of highlighting how boring and terrible high-tier DBD play is, and how boring the main objective of Dead by Daylight is. But if you take these matches, you take these L's, you will eventually have more casual matches. But if you end up winning, you're going to have, you're going to improve as a player overall. So, and it's just having a better outlook and treating losses more like, okay, well, at least now I'm going to have, the matches I want. Or if you win, you're like, okay, well, at least I'm becoming a better player. So having that better outlook would help a lot. That's all I have for you, friendos. Hopefully these tips help you out there in the new skill-based matchmaking environment, and with MMR just kind of making things really, really sucky in a lot of different ways. Hopefully these things help you survive out there and have a better time now that skill-based matchmaking is a thing, because I don't think with how much time that they spent on it, that it's actually going to be going anywhere, unfortunately. So we got to deal with it, and hopefully this helps you deal with it, friendo. If you like this video, there is a way to like it down here. And if you want to sub, that'd be great, because we are trying to make that pull for 1K subaronis. We're almost at 500, and I really appreciate you guys that have helped me out with that so far. I really do. And let's keep the train going, friendos. Other than that, I don't think anything else for you. And if I don't see you in the next video, I'll see you when I see you, friends. Goodbye.